there.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
My name is Madison Field. I will be your case manager today. I go by she, her pronouns. How can I address you?
My name's Tyler Gilmore. I go by he, him as well.
Oh, nice to meet you. I know that today the weather wasn't very nice and
I know.
it's been nice out, but
today
we're taking a step back.
Very much.
Taking a step back, but I hope this distance between me and you is okay.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Good. So I know that you had a lot of paperwork coming in here, so I just kind of want to overview what everything was talking about, what we are as a case manager unit going to accomplish with you. So the first thing I'd like to talk about is myself. I'm obviously Madison Field. I work with Wildwood Case Management Unit. At our case manager unit, we want to provide as much as we can for our clients, for any families, individuals. We want to make sure that your strengths, needs, and wants are taken care of, and we want to help you accomplish those. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So with you, I know the paperwork was a lot, so I'm just going to talk about a few main topics.
Yeah.
The first thing is going to be informed consent. So basically, whatever you want to share with me is what you're going to share with me. I'm not going to force anything out of you. It is completely voluntary. That being said, there's also confidentiality. I know that, just so you know, everything you're going to be telling me is going to stay with me. I'm not going to go share it to your family. I'm not going to go share it with with my family, my friends. It's going to stay with me. There are some times that I will have to break confidentiality. That being said, it is going to be if my supervisor comes and is like, hey, we need his paperwork, his notes, can you share that with me? I will let you know if that happens, so I will have to share it with them, but the confidentiality will stay and stop with them. Another time would be if you express to me that you're going to harm yourself or harm others. I don't want that to happen, so I will have to share and break confidentiality and tell someone and let them know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And the last time would be if it's court mandated to share my notes about whatever we have talked about, not everything, just specific notes that you have shared. If being said, I will have to share it, but I again will let you know. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
And just to reiterate, this is completely voluntary. If you feel like we are not working together, if you feel like our relationship is not what's going to benefit you later on, that is completely okay. I can refer you another person in our case management office. I can refer you another individual that can help you. Just let me know. I will not take any harm to it. Okay, so today there is going to be a lot of questions. This is an intake assessment. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions about your life. So if you feel uncomfortable with a few things, just let me know. We can go around some things, but I'm going to try to get as much from you so we can set up those goals and those expectations later on.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I will be taking a few notes just so I can keep some stuff down, but just know that that's what I'm writing down. Okay?
Okay.
So first thing we're going to talk about, let's just get to know you. Just give me a little overview, whatever you want to share again. Just let me know.
Okay. Like I said, my name is Tyler Gilmore. I am 17. I was born on May 25th, 2005.
Okay.
I live in Vermont with my grandparents right now.
Okay.
Both of my parents are dead, so like I said, I just live with them up in Vermont.
Okay.
Life's great. I'm still in high school right now. I'm a senior at the Benzoid Academy for the Gifted. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm a pretty motivated student. So I do a bunch of different things. I'm very interested in STEM. Right now I am taking CNA classes at a local community college.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Glad to see that you're motivated and you live with your grandparents.
Yeah.
So, and glad to see that you're in a gifted school and you have lots of passions, but tell me a little bit more.
What can I say? Okay, well, I guess I'm a type 1 diabetic, so, I have diabetes. I don't have type 2. I do have to take insulin shots. I have a pump right here on my leg.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it is a little hard to, afford insulin, especially being within the U.S. It's very, very expensive. I can't always afford it sometimes. So my grandparents help me out here and there when they can. I'm their only grandchild, so I don't have any other grandkids they can spoil, so it's just me. So thank God they can pay, but I don't really pull in enough money sometimes in order for me to pay the full insulin. Thankfully, I do have insurance, life insurance from my mom and dad.
Okay.
Because like I said, they both died, so there's still some like leftover money that I can do.
Okay.
I don't know what I do when I run out though.
Okay. So let's just backtrack. I know you've said a lot. So let's just talk about, so you said that your parents have passed away. If you don't mind me asking, like, just a little bit more detail about that. You don't have to share anything you don't want to,
it's okay.
and just how that made you feel.
Okay, so when I was 4, my mom died of leukemia, so I never really had a maternal figure in my life.
Okay.
The only one would be my grandma, but my mom, she was an amazing mom from what I was told from my grandparents. She lived in France. She was a really like free spirit. Then she like moved to California. She moved to Orlando, Florida. She did all these different things. Like I said, very free spirit before she met like my father, very logistical man. They met up in Vermont, like I said, where I'm from, and they basically settled, had each other, and that's where they lived. But yeah, it's only since I was 4, so I don't really know my mom and my dad. It's a whole different story.
Okay. Do you care about sharing that?
It's a little uncomfortable to talk about, but you know what? I should.
Okay. We can hold off for now.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I can share it.
Okay.
So I haven't told too many people, but since I'm 17, so 16 last year, I went for my driver's license. Sorry, it's a little hard to share.
That's okay.
I was going for my driver's license. I went for the road test with my father and my instructor and me. I was in the car. My dad was in the back seat, and the instructor was on like the passenger seat.
Yeah.
We were driving. Everything was going great. And then we had to go onto the highway because I hate that portion of the test. But we're going on the highway on the on ramp. I was going up the on ramp, and I didn't really practice too much on the highway before I should have. But I was going up, and then a big truck was coming by, like the 18-wheelers, and we just collided and hit, and like huge car crash. My dad went flying through the whole window. He was launched 10 feet into the air. The airbags deployed. Thankfully I had my seatbelt on, so I was stopped. But I didn't really end up fine, as you can see. You're probably gonna ask me that later. I have a prosthetic leg. My right leg had to be amputated. Since my head hit the steering wheel, I had a cerebrovascular accident. So I had a stroke as well, and my father actually died. So I basically killed my father in a way. It was obviously by accident, but I've always just been living with that guilt my entire whole year.
Yeah, that seems very difficult, and I'm happy that you were comfortable enough to share that with me. So I thank you for that. Did you have a good relationship with your father before he passed away?
It was okay.
Okay.
No hatred towards him. He was just a single dad. He just lost his wife. He was focusing on his own grief, so it was just happened the way that he couldn't really focus on me. So I can't place the blame on him, but there is still some part of me that was like, focus on your child. Like, I needed you as well. Like, I lost my mother. I know you lost your wife, but like we could have gone through this together. Like, he would forget to feed me sometimes. He would he usually drop me off at school and pick me up. Sometimes he would forget to pick me up, so I had to walk home. I just no resentment, but like he could have been better, but like I said, it was okay. There were some great moments, there were some bad moments.
Yeah, and that's good that you recognized like the good and the bad, and you're still aware of what your childhood was like. Can you tell me a little bit more about your childhood?
My grandparents were like a huge part of my life. They've always been there. They're my maternal grandparents, so my mom passed away. Edna and Joe, they're both 60. So as of right now, they're taking care of me, since my father passed,
Mhm.
and they've always just been that huge influence. They're the ones that helped me get into the academy. It is like a gifted school, so they have always been like huge on like my like academic success. They always like pushed me to like be as strong as I could be.
Mhm.
But childhood overall, I'm rated at 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay.
Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you have your grandparents as a support system, and can you just tell me a little bit more about your relationship with them, just so I can understand it?
Yeah, of course. Grandparents with them. Living with them now in Vermont.
Mhm.
We've just my whole family has always had like financial struggles. So right now we pay rent. My grandparents pay for it, but like I help out when I can, and they help out me when I can when I have to like pay for insulin.
Yeah.
We're just since we're all we've had left, we're just super super close. We do everything together. Like I said, I'm 17. I'm very nervous for this next chapter forward in my life because I do want to go to college.
Mhm.
So I don't know what's it gonna be like without them, how they're gonna be without me, like empty nesters, that
Yeah.
syndrome. So I'm kind of nervous for that, but
Yeah.
I'll be okay.
Yeah. So it does seem like you're a little bit weary about your future,
I am.
but you are grateful for your parent or your grandparents and what your life was like. But what I'm seeing and what I'm understanding is that you're very independent. You
Mhm.
seem to be doing a lot of things on your own, but not worried about maybe asking your grandparents, who are now those caregivers for you, for some help. Maybe am I understanding that well?
Yeah, I'm glad you like see that. Like I am a very independent
Yeah.
person. I've always had to be. Like my grandparents are old, so I had to take care of them just as much as they take care of me.
Yeah. And
So,
it's good to see that you have that relationship with them, especially as you were growing up. I know you've only lost your father a year ago, and it was a tragic accident, but it's good to see that you are able to come out of this and you seem to be doing okay. Is there anything else you want to share about your experience with your father, about the accident, and how that made you feel?
like I said earlier, just a massive amount of guilt. Like I have PTSD.
Mhm.
Undiagnosed. I don't have the money to afford for a therapist,
Okay.
but I wake up in the middle of the night, horribly sweating.
Okay.
I just have flashbacks, hearing his scream being
Mhm.
launched out of the car.
Yeah.
So it's just very triggering for me. Like I can drive now perfectly fine,
Mhm.
but I don't like being on the road. I don't like trucks. Like I do everything I can to avoid the highway. I just hate taking it. I can't repeat what happened, and as of right now, I still don't let anyone drive in the car with me. I refuse to pick up my friends to do anything
Okay.
because I can't have that more guilt on me.
How does driving now make you feel? Like
Ter-
alone?
Terrible,
Mhm.
still terrible, still
Mhm.
scary experience after
Mhm.
what happened. Like I already lost like my right leg, and I had a stroke for just me. So like I'm scared that one day like I might get into another car crash or have a stroke like that. So hopefully over time like I can work my way. I'm only 17. I have like 70 more years of living. So
Yeah.
hopefully this is something I can definitely overcome.
Yeah.
Like I would like to think I'm a very motivated person. So hopefully I can get past it.
Yeah. It does seem like you have some nerves, but it's glad to see that you're motivated, just trying to go through your life. I mean, you are young, so you do have some time ahead of you. So it's great to get to know you a little bit, but let's go into more specific questions. I do have some notes here. We're going to start with your vocational history. I know you're only 17, and your career interests. So just tell me about what you've done in the past and what you're looking forward to do later on.
Okay. I've always worked under table jobs since I was 13. Like dog sitting, babysitting, walking the dogs, or something of that nature.
Okay.
$20 here, $15 there.
Okay.
Whatever I could reel in. And then I had my market basket when I was 14. I've been working there since. It's only $17 an hour, so not too great, not too bad. It's doable. I don't know what I do without my grandparents. They definitely, they provide me 3 meals a day, and like they have a house that I live in. So yeah, I don't know what I would do. As of right now, I am trying to get my license to be a CNA,
Okay.
certified nursing assistant.
Yeah.
I'm taking night classes, like at a local community college, after Market Basket. So I'm pretty close, which is gonna be pretty good. Always just had that influence of since like the CNA thing hasn't even been too long. Like it's been like only like a year since I've had this passion, because since the accident I have dealt with so much and worked with so many healthcare professionals. So like doctors and nurses for my right leg amputation, occupational therapy and physical therapy for like my leg and learning how to walk and like that whole process again. And then just like counselors and stuff like that. So healthcare has just like changed my life for the better.
Yeah.
So CNA is what I want to do. I want to be there for people that were just like me.
Oh, it's good to see that you have that motivation coming out of this, and you've been exposed to more things, and you have a passion for something, and that could change, it could not. So that your future is still ahead of you. But do you mind just expressing to me, I know that you said that your leg was amputated, working at Market Basket, what was it like before and after and during is there any differences? Is there any things that affect you?
So at the beginning, it was definitely a struggle. I obviously had to take time off. And then I didn't get my prosthetic leg for a while. I was a nub, like I couldn't walk at all. And then I finally go to PT and OT, and they help get my prosthetic leg. And it took me 2 months of rehab. So I was jobless for so long. So I was a financial burden on my grandparents, which was very hard. I tried so hard to get back, but it was a struggle. But right now, I'm okay. I know I can walk again. In the beginning process for the first month, it really hurt because my leg would swell. I would have phantom limb syndrome. I didn't understand. I had to readjust my whole lifestyle. So it was very hard because I'm not a cashier. I am out restocking things, so I had to bend down, pick things up. So it was very weird on my prosthetic leg.
Did you find the people around you were welcoming to you with this new lifestyle, especially the people at work or even your grandparents, seeing you go through this dramatic change, going through those extreme losses? How did the people around you support you, or if they did not, just let me know.
My grandparents, obviously, like I said earlier, biggest supporters. They've helped me with everything. They've helped pay for the prosthetic leg, for the surgery. Again, I'm a financial burden for them, which sucks. Hopefully one day when I'm a CNA, I can repay them. But honestly, the community around me, Market Basket, hasn't been too helpful. They're not as welcoming, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I do have my church community. I am Catholic, so my church has been a huge part of my life.
And how, can you just share a little bit more about how they help you?
Yeah, my church, my grandparents were God-fearing Christian couple. And they, indoctrinated that onto me. I am a God-fearing Christian. I go to church every single Sunday at 8 a.m. A little early in my opinion, but I do it for God. I do everything for him. I believe there's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I'm alive. I survived my stroke, my amputee, my father, my mother, and I'm still here. So if all that happened, and then what am I doing here still alive? You know what I'm saying? God, I figure he's just a beacon in my life. So as long as my grandparents, I feel he's my biggest supporter. Sorry, I know you asked about my community.
No, this is what I'd like to share. I'd like to know this about you. It's good to know. Thank you.
My community my church community is huge. I'm in a youth group. So, there's a group of just 11 of us. And it feels like it's just a giant support group. They don't understand what I've gone through. No one does. But, it's great to know that they're there and they're willing to help for me. They've done a lot for me. There's been multiple times where I've came in crying, not knowing what to do, being super upset. If it weren't for them, I don't know where I'd be.
Yeah, no, it's good to hear that you have that support system, and it seems to me, coming from you, that you rely on those people and that you have people to turn back to. I know that you've lost your parents, and you just have your grandparents, which I'm sure they aren't really the best people to go to for advice or stuff like that, just because you're so young. But it's good to know that you have that church group, especially the youth group, that you have those friends built into the church, and you have God to rely on as well, which is nice to hear.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about your vocational history and career interests. We talked about your educational background. Is there any other details you'd like to let me know? I know that you're only in high school, so is there anything else like how school went, how you are in school, like what type of student you are?
Yeah, I would say I'm a very, very, very smart student.
Mhm.
Even with everything going on, I've always had A's in
Good.
school. I was I'm one of those like students that like thankfully don't really have to try, which is good. Like
Mhm.
I can just show up and just take it. Unfortunately, me being out for so long for like rehab and like just emotional grief and mental health days, I think I'm gonna have to retake senior year,
Okay.
which kind of sucks.
Okay.
But you know what? It is like fair. You know, I missed so many days, so
Mhm.
it just is what it is. Senior year, I know most of the juniors anyway, so
Mhm.
they're still my friends.
Yeah. So, other than it just being a little bit of a burden having to repeat it, how does that make you feel?
Honestly, kind of happy. I
Mhm.
can't lie. I don't think I'm ready to leave like my academy yet.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of weird to say, but you know, I still like being there. It's
Mhm.
very secluded, very safe.
Mhm.
I like the community environment.
That's good to hear. It's good to hear. Moving on, so you have shared a little bit of your economic status based on that you're kind of providing for yourself mainly, relying a little bit on your grandparents to pay for those certain medical bills that you weren't able to afford, especially with the accident and everything, you being out of work. Did you have any income from your parents before you passed away? How was your life then
Yeah, before my parents.
before your dad passed away?
Um, Before we were like low middle class, you
Mhm.
know, like we were barely scraping by.
Mhm.
Since his passing, since he has life insurance, so me and my grandparents have been writing off of that, which is you know pretty beneficial.
Mhm.
But um, still, again, we're just still low middle class after his passing. We've always just like been you know, one meal away from not being able to eat. There were some
Okay.
days where I could only eat one meal a day.
Okay.
I had to go grocery shop and I could only buy, you know, like fluff, bread, pickles, the bare essentials.
Yeah.
But like, I honestly don't see that as like a roadblocker. That's just been my lifestyle since day one. So like, I'm used to it. Like, I know how to adjust to that lifestyle. So I'm honestly fine. Like, obviously, everyone wants to get like be rich like that. But,
Yeah.
I'm okay with the lifestyle I'm living in now. I'm just glad to focus on you know God, family, and
Mhm.
friends.
And I know that you've shared with me that you're type 1 diabetic. Before your father passed away, was he able to afford for your insulin? Have you been struggling through your entire life? I know that you've only been able to pay a few things, but insulin is important for you to have. Were you able to, as when you were growing up?
So when I was younger, it was a lot harder than it was now that his passing. Since he wasn't making that much money either. So when I was younger, I developed glaucoma in my eyes, which is basically just like a buildup of like sugar.
Yeah.
Because you know my levels were like off all the time. So honestly, since his passing, I've been better with the insulin.
Okay, good to hear. Yeah, that's good to hear that you've been able to get those insulin levels back and stable, which is good to hear. And I know you've shared a lot about your family background and information. You've said you're an only child. Do you have any like cousins or uncles or aunts that are close as well?
So my mom, like I said, she was like in France. That's where she's from. All my aunts or uncles are in France. I have no idea who they are. I don't know their names. They've never bothered to reach out, so I don't really have a connection with them. I don't associate myself with them. They know nothing about me. I know nothing about them. And then my dad, he was just an only child, and his grandparents died. So all I have is my mom's grandparents.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's good that you have those grandparents that have been stable in your life. Okay, and moving on, you said you live in Vermont. Is there any, I know that with your disability, has there any been changes in your home? I know you have the car now. Driving, how has that been different with your disability?
Yeah, so honestly, just my lifestyle in Vermont has completely changed. You know, I talked about it in Market Basket, but like at home, at first we live in like a 2-story apartment, so it was very hard to get up the stairs at first. I actually just one night I slept in the car because I just couldn't get up the stairs. It was a very hard adjustment to get to because my grandparents are very old, so they can't adjust like their lifestyle. They can't like do all these things for me. They're not as strong as they used to be. They can't pick me up. They can't fix certain things. They can't make things more adjustable. They can't transfer me or stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was very hard. So again, I had to be on my own. I learned how to do it on my own, which I am very grateful for that I can do it now. But yeah, home it was very tough. School also very stuff. It's not ADA compliant. It was not accessible at all. I had to go up. I had to go to the back and around like the super long ramp. I couldn't go up the stairs because my leg would hurt too much.
Okay. And how has that made you like feel?
Honestly, I felt very excluded. I was made fun of a lot in school by my other peers. As close as I am with them, you know, they still kind of bullied me for having like one leg. They called me peg leg. It was very like an awkward experience to have. Like I would like to say it didn't affect me emotionally, but it did.
Well, it's hard to hear. How was your church group with your disability coming in? Were they accepting, or did they also pick on you?
Yeah, they've known me since I was, I've been like doing the youth group with them since I was 4, so I've known them practically my entire life. So they just viewed me as Tyler still. They didn't view me as just an amputee.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And I know that you have your church. Is there any other like cultural influences, any hobbies, other than your passion to be a CNA or in the church group? Like what else do you like to enjoy doing?
Honestly, as much as I'm like a God-fearing Christian, recently my relationship with them has been kind of rocky. I've been interested in other religions like Sikhism, Buddhism, like Judaism. I want to like go out and explore. I want to try all those things. I love traveling. It's like one of my big things. I eventually do want to go to France and like meet my family.
Yeah.
I do want to go to I want to go to Jordan, Jerusalem, just like see what Muslims like. I would like to. I'm like a very religious, like driven person as well as motivated. And I want to like seek new things. I want to see what's better for me. Maybe God is not for me and it's something else.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that you have that awareness maybe, and you get that influence from your mother that you want to travel just like her, which is good to see. Is there any other hobbies that you have?
Any other hobbies? Honestly, I loved biking, but since like I told you, my dad wasn't great, my mom died.
Yeah.
Leaving the house was the only thing like I did. I would love just riding my bike, going downtown, just doing whatever I wanted. I would like vandalize buildings. I would just play in dirt fields, creeks, whatever I wanted to do.
Yeah.
With my friends all the time.
Do you find that your life is a little bit different now based on your recent changes?
Yeah, definitely it has. But you know what? It's nothing I can overcome. Like I'm so like I said, I was super close to my church friends. I can't ride bike yet. I'm working on that with my physical therapist.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's good to see that and working on goals and stuff. Like yes, we're here for your emotional state, but we're also here for your physical state. So we can work on stuff like that going in. But it was really good to like get to know you, know a bunch of stuff. These notes are gonna help me a lot building and coming up with goals and expectations. When you come out of this, like, what are your requests? What do you want to get out of these sessions?
I guess where I would like to, I don't know where to start. I would like to find a therapist. I can't afford one. I would first like to know how to like finance my money properly, and then through that I would like to find a therapist, and then eventually down the line I would like to learn how to like find like like a career specialist with like colleges. Help me try to find like a right college for me that can be affordable. So I guess finances, colleges, and then therapists.
Anything, I know the therapist emotionally, but is there any goals specifically that you want to work on with the therapist or with mentally?
Mentally, I guess forgiving my father for everything that he's done. Like you said, I can't fully blame him. His wife died and everything, but it still hurts. And I guess mentally just forgiving myself as well
Yeah.
for my accident. I don't even like saying it out loud after what I did, but
Yeah.
I'm just, like I said, I'm still struggling with like the PTSD. I would like to go to a therapist to get that diagnosed.
Mhm.
There's no way that I don't have it, but
Yeah.
yeah, mentally just like recovering from that whole traumatic accident.
And I think those are some goals that we can work on throughout the sessions. So here is my name. It's my card with the Wildwood Case Management Unit. It has my name, my number. You're just gonna go give this to the front desk. Here it says, just to follow up, get another appointment so we can meet again. But I'm excited to start this journey with you, and I hope that you're comfortable. If you aren't feeling this, just let them know. We can reschedule with someone else. But I hope you have a great day, Lyndon.
Okay, thank you. You too.